Good evening, creatures of chaos. He grins, slow and deliberate. You know, they tried to warn the world about you. They whispered your name like it was a curse. But they never told the truth, did they? They never said you were born in the fire they lit. They never said you learned to smile while burning. The birth of a monster. They wanted to scare you. They thought if they threw enough pain your way, you'd crawl, you'd beg, you'd break. But the joke's on them, because monsters don't fear the fire that forged them. They are the fire. He tilts his head, smile twitching, eyes gleaming with something unholy yet magnetic. You remember those nights, don't you? The ones where you cried until the pillow drowned in it, where every voice in your head whispered, "You'll never make it." But you didn't quit. You didn't fold. You sharpened your silence into something deadly. You turned the pain into a mirror and forced the world to look. The transformation. Every scar on your soul is a signature of survival. Every breakdown you had was just the system rebooting for a stronger version of you. They mocked you when you were quiet. They hated you when you spoke. They called you crazy when you started fighting back. But tell me, who do they call now when the storm hits? You became the very thing they feared, someone who feels everything, yet bows to nothing. He paces slowly, dragging his hand across the air as if painting invisible wounds. They wanted to make you afraid of being different. They wanted you to shrink, fit the box, wear the mask, obey the script. But you tore it all apart. You built your crown out of broken glass, and every piece still cuts anyone who tries to take it. The power of the unbreakable. You see, fear is funny. It's the weapon of the weak. They use it to control the ones who could destroy them. They feared your fire, so they tried to make you ashamed of it. But here's the twist. Monsters like you don't fear darkness. We are the darkness. And when they turn off the lights, that's when we see everything. His voice deepens, almost a whisper now. Each word lands like a knife. They didn't know what they created when they tried to destroy you. They thought the pain would silence you. But it taught you. It taught you how to listen to silence. It taught you how to walk alone. It taught you that peace isn't in calm. It's in control. When you became the fear. You don't chase validation anymore. You don't beg for understanding, because you finally realized monsters don't need permission to exist. They warn the world before they arrive. He laughs. It's sharp, short, menacing. You stopped fearing rejection because rejection made you ruthless. You stopped needing love because love taught you pain. And now, every scar is your armor. Every no built your empire. Every time they tried to bury you, they just gave your roots more room to grow underground. He leans forward, whispering, "They thought they buried a mistake, but they were really planting a revolution." The Joker's truth. You learned something that terrifies the average soul. That peace doesn't come from being untouched. It comes from not caring how much it hurts anymore. You've been betrayed, abandoned, misunderstood. And that's why you're dangerous. Because when a person loses everything, they stop fearing anything. And when you stop fearing anything, that's when you start to see the truth. He smirks. The truth is, you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to break in, rip the walls apart. Expose what hides in the dark. You weren't built to follow the rules. You were built to rewrite them. The reckoning. They'll call you cold. They'll call you heartless. But they'll never call you weak again. He chuckles darkly. Because when you looked into the abyss, you didn't flinch. You smiled. You waved back. You ever notice how they always talk about monsters? Like we're the problem? He laughs faintly, almost tenderly. They say monsters are scary, but they forget. Monsters don't start as monsters, they're made. Built piece by piece, disappointment by disappointment, lie by lie. Molded by people who thought kindness was weakness and pain was discipline. He takes a slow step forward, light hitting half his face, half human, half myth. The creation. They didn't understand you, did they? You were too intense, too deep, too real. You felt everything they pretended not to feel. You saw what they refused to see, and that's why they feared you, because you held a mirror up to their cowardice. He grins wider, eyes burning. They wanted to scare you. They wanted to watch you fall apart under pressure, because they thought if you broke first, they'd never have to face their own reflection. He looks up, voice darker now. But here's the cosmic joke. When they tried to destroy you, they only revealed what you were made of, and what you were made of terrified them. A soft chuckle. They never expected you to adapt. They never thought the darkness would become your armor. But that's what happens when you feed on pain instead of pity. The rebuilding. They say monsters are emotionless, but you feel everything more deeply than they ever could. That's what they don't get. Monsters don't lack emotion. They've just learned to stop letting emotions make them fragile. You don't react anymore. You calculate. You don't chase anymore. You attract. You don't prove anymore. You exist. Because existence itself is rebellion when the world tried to erase you. His tone drops, whispering now, almost reverent. They told you to be quiet. You listened and used the silence to sharpen your voice. They told you to be patient, and you turned patience into precision. They told you to forget, and you turned memory into motivation. The fire that doesn't die. They thought the fire would consume you, but the thing about fire, it doesn't ask for permission. It burns everything, especially the lies. And now, you don't walk through fire. You are the fire. He smirks, pacing. They tried to drown you in pain, but pain taught you how to breathe underwater. They tried to trap you in guilt, but guilt became the map that led you to freedom. They tried to make you a victim. Instead, they made you inevitable. He stops, silence, then whispers, "You are what happens when the storm runs out of control. You are the sound thunder makes when it refuses to apologize." The ascent. You see, monsters aren't born cruel. They're born aware, and awareness is painful in a world that thrives on blindness. You stopped being their puppet. You cut the strings. You saw through their pretty lies, their fake smiles, their shallow souls. And for that, they called you dangerous. He smirks again. They're right. You're dangerous, because you don't need them anymore. He leans in, whispering, voice trembling with power. You stopped chasing love because you learned to generate it. You stopped fearing loss because you learned to create again. You stopped chasing peace because you realized peace isn't a place. It's a decision. The night. The light bowed. Funny thing about light, it always runs when the night gets too loud. But you didn't. You stayed. You stood there while everything collapsed. And you learned to rebuild with bloody hands and a laughing heart. He looks down, then up, his voice soft, almost poetic. They call it madness. I call it metamorphosis. They call it rage. I call it resurrection. They call you broken. I call you beautifully beyond repair. Because when something can't be repaired, it can only be reborn. the final joke. They wanted to scare you, but fear is your playground now. They wanted to destroy you, but destruction became your hobby. They wanted to silence you, but silence became your symphony.